You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. Brian Kelly was a guest this morning on the Rich Eisen show. And the conversation, and look, Brian Kelly's done a lot of national media, as you'd expect, and he's done a lot of local media as well, as far as media availability. But the conversation went a certain direction with Rich Eisen, trying to compare and really contrast LSU and Notre Dame, with Brian Kelly now having been in Baton Rouge since the beginning of December. So he's been here for now a little more than 3 months, 3.5 months, and he's going through spring practice, and he's recruited and done a lot of stuff. And so Rich Eisen's like, okay, now that you've kind of gotten your sea legs a bit, let's talk a little bit about the differences. And Rich asked him about recruiting and the difference in recruiting in South Bend and the difference in recruiting in Baton Rouge.
I would say that we can cast a larger net in terms of recruitment. There's no doubt about that. We're talking about 35,000 students, 8,000 small Catholic schools. So your profile is certainly going to be different from that perspective. So, I still want, young men that value a degree and have the right traits. So there's going to be some similarities relative to the young men that I want to recruit to LSU. Mm-hmm. But no, you're absolutely right. There's going to be a larger profile that allows me to recruit more student athletes that I couldn't recruit at Notre Dame.
Notre Dame fans have not really liked me saying this, but it's very true. Notre Dame has inherent disadvantages. Things that were advantages for them for decades are no longer advantages. They're disadvantages. The NBC contract is a disadvantage. Not playing in a conference is a disadvantage. Yes, you make more money, but competitively, you are at a disadvantage. Not playing in a conference championship game, not having that extra game on that weekend. You are not, your brand cachet doesn't matter like it used to. The fact that you limit the student athletes that you will be able to recruit to gain enrollment. The fact that in South Bend, you live in the normal dorms with everybody else because that's Notre Dame culture instead of having student athlete dorms and student athlete dining hall. All this, it is a hindrance when the same prospect goes to Alabama or LSU or Oregon and they see these giant complexes with reflecting ponds and barber shops in first class pods, airplane pods in the locker room, and then they go to Notre Dame and it ain't that. Yes, it's a disadvantage. And then you look at South Bend, Indiana, which is a not great place. It's hard to recruit there. And that's what Brian Kelly, in a very sort of, I don't want to say passive way, but a docile way, is trying to say. You can cast a wider net here. Listen, and Rich Eisen kind of poked. He was like, you have a better relationship there with he called him a provost, but meant the chancellor at LSU, kind of intimating that Brian Kelly didn't have a great relationship with the administration at Notre Dame.
No, I don't think that I had an adverse relationship with anybody at Notre Dame. I think we were all on the same page relative to what our mission was and who we could get into school and who we didn't. And I felt very comfortable with that. I think here we have to do a better job academically. Quite frankly, we have to be able to up our APR, GSR, and we're not going to run away from that. But we have to do a better job down here. And I thought Notre Dame did a great job of balancing both academics and athletics. I think for me, to be quite honest with you, I think from a recruiting standpoint, the state of Louisiana offers us so much more relative to the ability to stay in state and really pull a lot of our players right from the state. We weren't going to do that in Indiana. We had to go to California, Texas. We had to be on the East Coast in New Jersey and the coastal areas, and that will change dramatically. That'll probably be the biggest difference between the two schools is that we can stay in the state of Louisiana and we can cast a wider net.
It's why he's here. Notre Dame's most recent signing class was represented in 18 different states. They had to go to 18 states to recruit that class to Notre Dame. Go across the basin, you see Walker Howard. Drive to New Orleans, you see Arch Manning. Go 5 minutes from your campus, and there's Emory Jones. Shelton Sampson. It's different. Also talked a little bit about NIL, but this is another thing that got a lot of people's attention. Ed Orgeron was up at Notre Dame's practice, which, by the way, is common. Coaches visit other programs often, sometimes to lend an ear, to evaluate film, just to watch and learn. It's no big deal. But what Ed Orgeron told the Notre Dame team is what's gotten a lot of people's attention. Here was Ed's comments on the Notre Dame Twitter feed.
What a tremendous university you have here. What a great coach and what a great coaching staff you have. Some of the best players in the country are right here in this group. I don't know when it's going to happen, but with this staff, this team, y'all going to win it all. You're going to pick up the trophy. All right, when it's going to happen, I don't know. I can't tell you that. How bad do you want it? You don't have to wait for it. Why somebody else needs to be better than you? I'll tell you what. Physicality, use it. There's other team spirit. Use it. Okay? Good luck to you guys. Hey, I know you got a lot of things to do. Coach, thanks for letting me talk to this team. I am fired up. I can't wait to see you guys play. I'm going to be pulling for you guys. But remember this. This is your team. This is your brother. You fight for it. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it, man.
So Notre Dame had Ed Orgeron come talk to the squad there, and he said, "I don't know when it's going to happen, but you're going to win it all." You want to bet? It's not. I'm not throwing shade at Notre Dame for throwing shade at Brian Kelly, or I just know it too well. Know the disadvantages too well, and unless if Notre Dame has fundamental internal changes, which I don't think they will do, it's just what their culture is as a university, which they value more. They're never going to win it again. Not under this system. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.